Good afternoon. My name is Hugh Ronalds. I have an engineering degree from Yale, an MBA from Harvard Business School. I'm a retired corporate financial executive and a 30-year resident of Baltimore. The next few speakers and I are speaking on behalf of the Save the Trees Alliance. We are an informal organization of volunteer petitioners to save the trees in Mount Vernon Park. Our website is SaveTheTreesAlliance.com. At the last CHAP meeting, December 14, I summarized my testimony as follows. The Conservancy is proposing a massive construction project, which is artistically unattractive, historically incorrect, ecologically and environmentally unsound, disruptive of the park and its neighborhood, with $18.5 million of mostly public money for a plan the public strongly opposes. We were very encouraged by the Commission's decision to ask the Conservancy to meet with us and form a committee to see if we couldn't work out our differences. We had understood that we would meet with equal numbers on both sides and with a city representative who would serve as a neutral moderator. And there would be a full and open discussion of the ways to save the trees. Instead, showing up with more committee members on his side than ours, the president of the Conservancy, without any discussion whatsoever, assumed the position of chairman of the committee, with the city representative acquiescing. Conservancy board member Lance Humphreys then gave essentially the same presentation as he has given so many times before. Numerous questions were asked and issues raised without adequate answers, such as the time involved, budget breakdown, inferior artistic nature of the plan, the lack of a meaningful historical record of such a plan, and most importantly, the destruction of the neighborhood and the wholesale destruction of the trees so beloved by the public. When asked if the Conservancy would consider alternative approaches that would be far less costly and invasive, we were told they would not. Furthermore, two of their board members, one of whom is their president, indicated they would withdraw their participation if the plan was changed. Finally, when one on our side pointed out that a more appropriate and modest irrigation system could be installed without the massive, costly earthworks construction, which would destroy all the trees, the Conservancy president, without discussion, abruptly ended the meeting. In summarizing the meeting, the Conservancy listed 5 items they would agree to. However, all 5 items were items already included in their plan. Magnanimously, they were offering to agree with themselves, not with us or anyone else. The Conservancy thus acted in bad faith, wasting the time of all participants and making a mockery of CHAP's explicit instruction to, and I quote, reach out and meet in good faith to resolve matters prior to the February meeting.
My name is Regina Minnis. I live at 6 West Mount Vernon Place. I am a native Baltimorean and have lived in Mount Vernon for over 40 years. I am a realtor and have sold in Mount Vernon alone just over 80 homes. I've been a board member of the Mount Vernon Belvedere Association and have been on each of the committees. I am now a board member of Friends of Mount Vernon Place. I received a 1999 mayor's citation for my contribution to the civic welfare of my community. I have a 1986 degree from Johns Hopkins University. According to the Secretary of Interior Standards for the treatment of historic properties, there are 4 guidelines: preserving, rehabilitating, restoring, and reconstructing. Each has its own list of concerns. Throughout the Conservancy's material, I kept reading how Mount Vernon Square is going to be restored, rehabilitated, and/or preserved. But I am unable to tell which of the 4 Secretary of the Interior standards they are using. I certainly realize that these terms are constantly misused, but in this case, the word should match the interior standards the Conservancy is following. The word I see most in their material is restore, and this is further assumed by the Conservancy's use of the Currier-Hastings plan, which does not exist. But it appears that the Conservancy has chosen rehabilitation, as revealed by the fact that they have copied the rehabilitation page of the Secretary of the Interior Standards as part of their package. And this was given to us on January 20th, and I have that rehabilitation page here. I want to emphasize that in fact, if they are using the rehabilitation standards, but making the plan sound better by using verbiage from all guidelines, then it becomes quite confusing to their intent. Most importantly, on the first page of the standard for rehabilitation, and I'm assuming that all the commissioners know those 4 standards, I note to you item number 4, which states, changes to a property that have acquired historic significance on their own right shall be retained and preserved. Surely the present trees have obtained that status as evident to the resistance of moving them. Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me.
Regina, I have a question. Thank you.
A speaker about 2 persons ago indicated that the position of the Alliance is that everything is fine in Mount Vernon and that really nothing really must be done. And I guess presumably that all of the trees should remain. Is that the position?
The healthy trees should remain, and I think that was a misinterpretation of the meeting. I don't think anyone in this room disagrees that the parks need help, and it needs a lot of care and maintenance. It's just we're just really basically against removing of the healthy trees, which also provides health for everyone and everything on the earth. Did I answer your question?
Yeah. At the meeting, was there any discussion focused on at all on specific trees, or was the meeting all general? Did you at the meeting talk about specific trees?
No, we did not.
And at the last meeting in December, I gave a diagram. I don't know where I sort of went tree by tree. And it seems that there are 49 trees that you remember the diagram?
Yes.
That I had in yellow that were dead or dangerously placed, had a life expectancy of less than 5 years, were planted too deeply or obstructing the view. There were 49 trees. And is there a position that the Alliance has as to the removal of those 49 trees?
So you're talking about the ones that are...
Dead, dangerous, less than, according to their arborists, had less than 5 years of life, were planted too deeply, or were obstructing view.
Well, I think our main, basically the healthy trees, no matter what size they are, and if they obstruct the view, that's unfortunately too bad.
Well, there were 48 trees that were healthy, had a life expectancy of more than 15 years, that weren't obstructing the view. I'm sure, I know what your position is on those trees.
Right.
And then there were those that I had orange, which were 5 to 15 years, and I don't know, they're in sort of a middle ground. But I'm particularly interested in what's your position with respect to the dead, dangerously placed, the roughly half.
Right.
Or do you disagree with those categorizations?
No, I think there should be like a revolving, and we actually have a speaker that will be addressing that next.
I would like to hear the position of the Conservancy not only your position, the alliance, I know what your position is with respect to the healthy, mature trees. What is your position with respect to the ones that at least